сделал злой. Hello, hello, hello. Zdravo. Sorry for the long setup. Technical difficulties. I still haven't figured out how to flip this whole thing horizontally. There are like lack of settings for some reason for mobile. So I'm happy to see you once again. The last 2 days, 3 days at least, I was doing a thing with well, photos, some of the best photos I've selected on the site and placed them on the site. Well, you can check them out right now already, like a couple of them at least. Most of these photos, by the way, is the voice capturing all right? Mic check, mic check. One second. Still some... Oh, hey Jan. Okay, thank you. Still a lot of difficulties with internet connection. It's just like, it's so weird here. It's working and not working at the same time in the same day within like a couple of minutes. Anyway. Yeah, so I was in the middle of editing all these photos that I've made in Kamchatka, which is like an amazing, amazing place, really. I've traveled there like 3 years at least, I think, before and ago, I mean. And it was like a camping trip with but not only camping, but volcano photographing. Yes, but mostly it was like, I have a weird hairstyle right now. This looks better. Okay. So yes, volcanoes, and there are like crazy amounts of them, and many of them are active at the moment, and all the time they're like becoming asleep and waking up, and it's switching. And the last time we were there, there was a huge volcano eruption, like I'm not gonna make up numbers of kilometers that were covered, but well, nobody. I don't think that any human was injured because they were expecting it to happen. The nature, on the other hand, even though it will still persist. The Hi Nina, the volcano, right? So, and we were camping, but it's not like you can go just camping to Kamchatka with just a backpack and like a tent, and that's it. Like it's not gonna work because you are definitely gonna die, either from like the cold or just falling on sharp volcanic rocks or glass, which is very common there, very common. And also bears, like so much bears there. So we had to use like a vehicle to get around. There's also like the distances are huge, and you have to carry everything with you. So we had most of the time to travel by the huge transport vehicle that has like almost human-sized wheels on it. That's the only way to go around. And some of these photos were made from the window of the car, the vehicle. It's hardly like a normal car. It's huge. Like we were like 15 or 20 people inside, and also the driver and stuff. And the vehicle didn't even feel like we were there. So sometimes we traveled and stayed at the volcanoes and near them and stuff. Near them rather, because it's still like extremely like a very bad idea to stay near them. Some of them are like constantly poisoning the air, and you will not wake up just by sleeping on it. Sulfur and other stuff is just everywhere. But sulfur you can feel, but other things not so much. But the volcanoes are amazing. Like you can see in these pictures, some of them, the ones that are not on this dead hard drive. Most of them, by the way, are here, unfortunately, and soon I will try to wake it up. Somehow I don't have the instruments, unfortunately, but wow, like this whole trip, it was so worth it. So worth it. It's crazy. I don't even have words to describe it, so I will not even try, I think. Anyway, this kind of reminds me of one thing. I was looking through companies that do the revival of dead electronics here. And I was reading comments and reviews by users here in Serbia. And well, I'm pretty sure that that's like a common thing around the world. But what I'm talking about, let me explain. In Russia, when you go to a place which repairs laptops and stuff, the chance that you will not get ripped off is slim to none. Like every single company that does this, that does the repairs, will rip you off one way or another. Maybe if you have friends, that will help, but that work in this area, but not if you come from the outside. Like, the chances are so slim. And here I'm reading the reviews, and I'm seeing the very similar thing. Hi Daydreamer, hi. From New Zealand all the way. Wow. So here the same story occurs where, and I'm reading these translated from Serbian also. It's not like the only outsiders are getting ripped off or something. There are many companies here that do this job, but the rating is really low. And well, they take a lot of money for the job that doesn't require this. It's like really quick. For example, I almost am 100, like I'm 60% sure that I know what the problem is with the thing. So the electricity went off, and it was in the middle of read and write all the stuff that it does. And so it has like a rotating platter and a thing that like on a like a vinyl disc, you know, vinyl disc, that reads information exactly like this, but it's just a tiny bit more complicated. And it's like something happened and it can't get on the disk itself now. So probably just switching this thing to a new and working one, and it will work immediately and all the information will be there. But we'll see what they will tell me, because anyway, so I lost some message. Hey Zoe, welcome back. Hey. And apparently it's very popular to rip people off here also. Is it the same way where you live? I've seen some videos from the USA of people confronting these situations, but I wonder if it's like a very common thing about this area of work. Well, I also have been reading the news, some of the news lately, especially ones coming from Russia with the laws and stuff. And I can't like show and tell you the story of the top, but unfortunately, it seems like I was hoping that the whole war situation was going to hopefully end in like a year, maybe. But apparently there are like laws and stuff considering many things within the Russian government and the systems, how they work. And it seems that Russia is not expecting this war to end anytime soon, and not like a year. It's already making laws for the next like 2 years at least. Unfortunately, the exact name of the law is just like escaping me right now. Work towards getting to New Zealand. There's Russians here. Lots of jobs and the lifestyle. Lots of jobs if I'm reading this currently. Okay, I will check this check this out deeper. Unfortunately, the whole situation with work is complicated all around, especially in Russia right now. It's like almost non-existent, the whole IT sector, distance work. Like we're still trying to find jobs, and well, the results is like not amazing. Most of the jobs that are there, they're like, as I think I've told this previously, but it's like all the same stuff happening again and again, with people just working, asking for us to work for like 6 days a week and get paid like what? It's just almost nothing. I'm better off like selling my clothes in Russia, and because I still like left 99% of what I owned back there. So selling some of the stuff will maybe make some money, but it's like it's nothing. Even if I will sell like 10% of it a week, which is a hell of a deal, I won't make that much though. Because New Zealand is beautiful. Does one have to be fully vaccinated to get a job? That's a good question, by the way. The whole vaccination story, it's missing. I am missing this whole story because I didn't get a vaccination at all, and the times that I was ill with the COVID, I didn't go to the hospital because, well, for many reasons. It was in Russia, and one of the reasons was that I was, I think, yes, I was still of conscriptable age, and I didn't want to be found. So there are stories about people getting now there are like people getting conscripted almost from the hospital, and back then I didn't want my information to get updated and stuff, and it's definitely happening now more and more with the whole sector. Just all the information that is online almost in official places and non-official is getting united and used in many not so good ways, unfortunately. But yeah, I also was thinking about getting some people still have trouble getting a job here in Sydney. What kind of jobs, by the way, people have problems getting? I don't blame you. That seems very smart, especially considering the partial mobilization. Yeah, and also I don't know if I told the story or not. Yes, I think I did, but it's like I also lost my passport, like maybe 2 weeks before the mobilization or something like this. And I was putting it off, and then it all started, and I wasn't going to get my passport because I had to go to the police station and stuff. Yeah, so as I was saying, what was I saying, by the way? One moment. Oh, yes. So I was going to film a new video finally. Going back. Yeah, lost passport. Yes, it's just like a single thing that came up. But I was going to make a new video, like full video with interesting stuff to show and tell, and it was considered in relation to cooking and the current conditions I live in, especially with the fact that I don't have any cooking utensils brought with me, and here it's like, well, I'll show you with the video maybe next time. I think I'll like in this week I will make one. It's killing me. The way things are here, it's what's the correct term? Non-ergonomic in any way. It's like has quite a lot of space, but it's so badly made that you feel like you have no space, like literally no space. You pick stuff up and you are thinking about putting every single thing and anywhere, and you don't know where, because once you put it you can't use all the place around it, and it's like wow. And it's not also very safe the way things are here. It's anyway. So I was thinking about making this video, and I've got it all figured out. But I had to make the photographs to finish them before the stream, at least most of them. That was the plan. And hi, Robert. I'm doing fine now. I'm not ill anymore. Feeling way better. So thank you. So the video, right? And everything is ready. All is planned out. I get like the recipe figured out in my head, and okay, I was going to do it, but once I got from my editing of the photographs, it was like 10 p.m. already, and I was like destroyed. My face felt like it was swollen almost. I think that will be the correct term. So I decided not to do it, but the food might have gotten spoiled, so I had to make the dish anyway without filming it. Unfortunately, it came out all right. Well, I think. It was like Siberian almost cooking. Since it's quite cold outside, it's best to cook things that are meaty and fat, and as people say that in Russia, you can put a spoon in it and it will stick out without dropping. So that's the way Russians like to cook during winter. And the second video I was thinking about making, but today it was going to be about the market and the prices. I have like my our money figured out for the month. So if we go above it, it will, well, make things worse for us. So I have this, what's going on with my hair? So I had this thing, right? And all planned out once again. And we were going to go out, but I look at the air quality and it's like, it was 40-ish yesterday. It's 150, 160 today. And I'm like, oh, wow, we are not going out today. So anyway, I decided to, well, finish my photos. Most of them I finished, which, by the way, please check them out. The photos I've made are the ones that are like finished are on my Buy Me a Coffee page right now, and they are free to my members. So you can get them and download them. They will be emailed to you, and you can put them on like a mobile phone or like a PC screen or stuff. And you can also print them. They're very high quality, and like a poster would look great. So check them out. That's like a thank you for the support you have given me. Let me check the chat. You need to have 2 vaccinations, but there's lots of seasonal jobs in Central Otago, Southland, New Zealand. They have accommodation and take mostly travelers. I did it for years. Oh, okay. So
I got it. 1 minute.
The sink is leaking, not like downstairs, but the faucet itself is dripping at times, which is, almost killing. Like a Chinese, what's it called? The Chinese did this thing where they dropped apparently droplets of water from quite a big height with your head placed and held in one position. And yes, Chinese water torture. Thank you, Jan. Okay. So my question was, is the pay enough to cover the rent and the food and all the other stuff? That was a question to you, Daydreamer. And now I just only know that if the world which we do know will end pretty soon, I will want to live to US in the next summer and go shooting guns then with my cousin. At least I have realized my plans. The shooting guns things sounds pretty great. I've shot guns once. I went to a range in Russia. I've shot pistols, and it was nerve-wracking, but like my hands were shaking, and all the time I was thinking about not pointing the gun the wrong way and not possibly shooting in a way that it could ricochet and stuff. Well, maybe I was overthinking it quite a bit, but I still think that's quite reasonable to fear all these things. But shooting guns, and also I was shooting, it was in closed space, and we wore ear protection, but it's well, it's still crazy loud. The height of the ceiling was about 2.5 meters, so everything that everyone shot was like hitting you with a frying pan to the ear almost, or maybe like onto something very close by to your head. Sounds ridiculously loud, but outside I'm pretty sure it's not as loud. So I would love to do that also. Was that actually a real thing? Well, I'm not sure whether this thing was true with the whole water torture, but as I found out, people got so creative with all this torture. I was reading lately about the Mongols and the Mongol Empire in particular, and wow, that's such an interesting read. The person that was initially in charge, what was his name? The legendary, yes, Chinggis Khan. I'm not sure is this the way people say it in English, but Chinggis Khan, his name was, and or was it his name?
Yeah.
Or his?
Maybe.
What? Because it sounds like Han means he is. Anyway, so the whole era, and it consisted of traveling fighters. Like the army didn't, the whole country and the whole empire didn't have like cities or the capital. Everything was moving all the time, and that's like fun and stuff. But what they did, and this is not stuff for people easily scared and all this. Yes, that was what he was called. And the things that they did, and it's like documented quite well. One of the things was, there's like an actual painting that was, I'm pretty sure that was painted of the real picture, was a couple of Khans, which is this word naming status. It's like barons almost, but without land, because all of them didn't have like a particular land. And they are sitting on a wooden thing, like almost a pallet, like it's huge, maybe 5 square meters across, and it's about this thick, made of wood, and they are like 8 to 10 people, these Huns, eating, sitting in a circle on this thing, and underneath it, it's like about 20 to 50 living people, which this whole thing was placed upon, and below them just ground, and they're just like chilling and eating, and that's for fun. And a couple of other things that they did was they were capturing a city, and they would catapult living people over the wall just to scare the people inside. And the other thing that they did during the same attack was like they would, there's like a, what's it called? The thing people dig around the castle, so it would be harder to traverse this area, and they also put water inside sometimes. And so these Mongols, they came and they like throw hundreds, yes, a moat, and they throw hundreds of living people that they just captured in the surrounding areas, like hundreds and thousands. It's like many meters deep, and they fill it up almost, well, at least to the level, and even higher. And they place ladders and stuff over these people, and the whole army just marches in and stuff. It's just crazy. And if they did this and just for fun, you could easily imagine something like this. In Russia, I think it was one of the things that they did was not also in Russia. It's not like exclusive to Russia. They would place people, in Russian we say it knuckle, which means on a, what's it called, like pencil shaped but a wooden log, but on the top it's like a pencil shape. So they would just place living people, of course, with their legs spread on this log, which is cut in this way, and slowly the people would stake, yes, stake, I'm pretty sure, but it's like pretty wide, it's not like tiny. And the person is, I'm pretty sure also they put weights on his legs. And he would just stay this way until he is just ripped apart. And that's one other thing they did. So you could easily imagine like people putting water droplets. It sounds, well, child play in comparison, but I'm pretty sure it's not, because our brain does crazy things when it's what's it called, experiencing something that it's not normally experiencing, something like this. So I'm reading the chat now. Sorry, Alex, can you repeat your question? My question was whether people the work in New Zealand that you were talking about, whether one person would make enough money to pay for rent, for food, and possibly save some. The thing is that, okay, yes, I see the answer, okay. And I also saw some people saying that in New Zealand there are like problems for some people to get jobs, or was it somewhere else? The thing is that in US it's cheaper. You can shoot whatever you want, and they have full auto mode. That is obvious. I really want to do. Yes, that would be so much fun. I've also seen people shooting tanks. There's like a company. It's called exactly this way, and well, you can shoot like real tanks there. Yes, it costs quite a bit, but you are shooting a tank. Have you seen the protests in Russia against the Commissar Commandant's drafters? Yes, I've seen them, a couple of them, and it breaks my heart. And it makes me wonder if well, it makes me wonder many things. One of which, well, I want to be there on one hand, but on the other hand, as a person who has been to a protest, and I got in this whole story, I had to pay a fine. It's well, of course, it's making me fearful to do this thing on one hand. On the other hand, I understand that it's necessary for people to do this in a couple of ways. But on the other hand, I'm not so sure that the result is as good as the price that people are paying. What I mean is, it's not like people shouldn't do this. What I mean is, for me, I hope to find better ways to do my part, apart from just throwing my body out and getting drafted, because in many ways that is exactly what is happening to the people. They just, from the streets, they get drafted immediately, and the same day they get sent to Ukraine. Of course, there are other ways they can fight back, but not every single one gets to fight back there from the whole thing. I mean, some soldiers, they refuse to fight and they lay down their arms. Some just give up on the battlefield, but it's still, there are things that happen to Russian soldiers that give up on the battlefield. And like, there are many things. I hear stories of commanders like shooting their Russian commanders shooting their soldiers. It's almost like the Soviet Union is back, but just almost. Maybe it's just people that were during the Soviet times growing up. Maybe some of them were, most of them, the commanders and stuff, they were in the army back then. But not, of course, during the World War II or something like this, but still. I'm pretty sure it made some impact on their way of thinking. And also this time, the people that had respect, they had to leave because from the army. It's not like they were given much of a choice or anything like this. It's not very well supported to have a different opinion, especially nowadays. So a shooting gallery. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed this message. Some of the secretaries have been burned by Molotov cocktail attacks by young people, plus some of the commandants have did in gunfight situation. Yes, yes, I've heard this, and during the first even wave of the conscription, there were a couple of places that were burned down by Molotovs during the night time, so there was like no human damage. The government would call this act of terrorism, and well, I see how the people were thinking that did this. I understand what they thought, and I'm pretty sure they made their point. And well, in the safest way possible, I think, like damaging only not the human life, but the property. So a shooting gallery where you can use a tank to shoot? Yes, a shooting gallery, but of course it's not inside the a building. You're like outside on a huge range, which is surrounded by like human-made hills. So, and there is a limit how you can shoot, I'm pretty sure. I haven't done this, but it's on YouTube, but so I've seen a couple of videos like this, and well, yes, you can drive around in this, and they're like they have broken down cars, which are taken from a scrapyard, not like completely destroyed, but they have glass and an engine in it, but it's just metal. It's not working, so you can shoot with a tank this thing and drive over the cars and stuff. And also I've seen a video of a safe, like a huge safe, human-sized, was with thick walls, was shot with a tank. It was opened in the end. Don't go to Australia. Principally, the inflections there are going unnormally crazy, bro. The inflations, you mean inflations, yes. I'm still looking through how the whole situation develops with the energy crisis and stuff, and it's I have no way of anticipating how it will evolve, and yes, I'm not sure which way to go right now. And also with the whole winter situation, it's all the things are getting worse, unfortunately. And yeah, so Russia is playing the long game now, even though it might be running out of long short game, short long. Not the longest game, not for 10 years. For 10 years it's pretty messed up already, but not for 20, not for 30 years, but for the next 2 to 3 years, which is pretty short term in the, if we're talking about governments and stuff, it's well, it's almost nothing. But for humans, for our lives, it may be something significant. We may lose everything in these years. And apparently it's not going to end anytime soon. I have a friend from Canberra which have said that there's, for example, a package of 20 cigarettes will cost $40 to up, plus the food, like vegetables, cost right now almost $10 per kilogram. Really? Well, no way. That's crazy. Well, of course, first of all, you shouldn't smoke. It's like it's costing you a lot of money at least. But still, I understand that that's hard. That's really hard to do. It's like in the recent years of COVID, at least in Russia, I think that they've made what's like a poll and stuff, and the smoking, the amount of people smoking during and after the COVID decreased quite a bit, and also almost everyone left these gyms and stuff, and so many people started running and doing the workouts outside. So one way COVID, well, did something horrible for people maybe, but on the other hand, so many people started doing this thing and stopped smoking and stuff. So there are like two sides to everything. Some people will give to you $2 or more for just one cigarette. Oh yeah, it's crazy. It's pretty crazy. I have to go. I've given you a humble $15. New Zealand is not going anywhere. If you want a beautiful, safe life, make New Zealand your long-term goal. Many blessings, my friend. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Check out the page and the photos. Maybe some of them you will like. I enjoyed making and editing them. It was a lot of fun. And I will make many more once I will restore this brick here. It doesn't matter where you go. If you want a real opinion from me, to go in some country and stay safe for real, would be in some island, but like Maldives or Falklands. Yes, on one hand, it might be a good idea, but I wonder in what way you think that would be a good idea, because on the other hand, the islands are so what's it? They rely on the other countries to provide them with food, like vegetables, grains mostly, and also milk and stuff. So the prices would increase even more there, unless it's like some amazing island that has everything. Are there even the islands that have everything? I'm not sure. Australia? I think that after this joke, like, Australians will literally kill me. Yep, vegetables are expensive. The prices are better in small private grocery stores, or I buy frozen vegetables. I don't smoke, so I don't have to worry about buying cigarettes. Yep, same story here. Maybe, in regards with vegetables, by the way, I think I will make a video here, but for example, how much was it? Like about a kilo of broccoli was like $1. Like $1. No, not a, no. Yep, it was about $1 or less. I'm pretty sure. Also, this is a place where kiwi grows, and it's like a kilo for $1 once again. And many other like grains, they are here like very cheap. Everything, it seems like almost everything grows here. And also milk is, well, it's definitely getting, being produced here, and cheese is getting, and all this stuff. So it's really cheap here, and also the whole, I'm interested in seeing how the whole energy situation expands here. Yep. Yes. So the cost of living is less than other countries. That's definitely true. And also there's like a loophole with the whole visa, non-visa thing, with the whole stay thing, the visa run. So not many countries have this. And it's not very cold here also. It's like 10, 9, maybe 8 degrees right now, but it's very, what's it called, humid, the environment here. So the cold feels like way less, even though it's not as low. Even in Moscow, I'm not so sure that it would be as big. It's definitely not as humid there, but it's pretty humid in Moscow. Here where I do live, the real only thing which is very expensive about the food is meat. The pork meat, and then it comes about the energy cost, and our country is the most expensive around the world. Robert, I'm not sure whether I've asked you, where do you live? What country is that? The meat here is also quite cheap. I mean, almost every single thing that we buy here is cheaper than in Russia. Like, I don't know anything that costs more. And also, which amazed me. So I made this video in Kazakhstan about the prices, which is quite ridiculous, but I had some fun. It was like one of the longest videos I've edited. One of the longest edits that I've made. Germany. The pork meat here is almost $10 a kilo. $10 a kilo. Wow! Seriously? Euros. But anyway, that's a lot. Like, wow, that's a lot. And it's pork. And what about beef? What about beef? And chicken? Not a fan of chicken anymore because it's like not so good tasting. 10 euros, yeah. And by the way, also the rent, even though it's, it's a bit less than in Moscow right now, which is ridiculous. Moscow has very high rent in comparison to, well, like St. Petersburg, for example, many times more. For example, like one single room, is that the correct way to express it? To single bedroom, single bedroom rental in Moscow with a living room and a kitchen and a toilet. Without a living room, your bedroom would be the living room. It would cost like at least 500, like 600 to 700 euros or dollar, which is, it's almost exactly the same now. Single like bedroom, and it's like tiny. Not tiny like in Japan, but it's pretty small. 600 to 700 euros. It's too much. And in Novosibirsk, for example, which is a really big city in Siberia, it's I'm pretty sure you could get it for like 250 at max. I'm pretty sure. Maybe $200 a month. And here is one bedroom apartment would cost like 400. The same apartment would cost like 400 euros a month. So it's not the same as in Moscow, but it's approaching it. And it increased twice in the last months. So it was like 200 euros before that. Chicken is really tasty here in Australia. is it? Do you feel like it's too huge, like it's too buff for its age and size? And then the bio vegetables or fruits, it will rise up from €6 up per kilo. Okay, that's very pricey. In weekends you can get lucky and find something cheap or on discount. Same story here, by the way, but the discount is like 5%, most of it, 5 to 10% on popular items. It's pretty cheap to live here. I love pork and it's not too expensive. But Robert, what about the beef? You haven't told me. And chicken here at the local supermarket sales for €5 between 3-5 big pieces of chest fridged. €5. €5. So, well, it's about the same. It's about the same here, by the way. Three to five big pieces of chest. Free range chicken. Yes, once I tried it, it's like you can never go back. Literally, it's amazing. When I remember when I was like a little boy, I enjoyed eating chicken eggs. I don't know how to call the cooking result. It's like the whites is all firm, but the inside, the yellow yolk is still runny. So I still love to eat this way. But I remember I was like 20 and I was sitting and trying to eat this, and I recalled all these memories of me doing that and enjoying myself. But now I'm like at 20 eating this, and I'm like thinking, oh, wow, that tastes horrible. It's like almost impossible to eat how bad it tastes. This yolk has like almost chemicals inside of it. And did I really enjoy this while I was a kid? Did my taste change so much that I can't enjoy this anymore? And I'm like contemplating, and then I decided to say no to the eggs for like a year or two, and then I tried eating them again, and all the same story, and I tried different types of eggs, and I constantly changed them, and I found the free range ones. I tried them just well. Another, I thought, marketing strategy to make me to buy. I bought them, I tried them, and I was like flashback, like Ratatouille happened to me. If you remember, was a Disney movie, Pixar movie rather. So flashback to the youth, and I was enjoying once again this whole process, and it struck me, it's free range. Free range is just so much better. And every single time I buy free range eggs, they're like awesome. And every single time I buy other types of eggs, it's just horrible. Maybe it's just me, but you need to stay conscious that in every single country and culture, a different thing of food consumed. Like in Portugal, the cod fish will cost 11 euro or more because the consume is big than the pork meat. The same is here in Germany, but with the pork meat. Yeah, of course, I understand this, and there are also reasons why. Not just that it's popular, so it costs more, but at times it's like this. But maybe it's just the positioning. Maybe it's on the other hand that they provide better quality of the product itself. Many things come into play. Of course, there's like the generic, what's it called? Need for business, need to make money. I'm also not a fan of pork, and I don't eat, almost never eat bacon, even though my mom is almost vegetarian. She eats fish sometimes, but she loves bacon. But she doesn't eat anything else like red meat. No. The movie Ratatouille, yeah, I have watched it like maybe 5 times, I think. Maybe this is one of the many reasons why I love cooking. It's so cheesy, but it's cool. I also tried cooking exactly the same ratatouille by myself without looking up the recipe, and I tried to visually copy it. Unfortunately, it wasn't as amazing as the movie it presented it. Maybe it's just my cooking skills with that particular very strange dish. But cooking, yes, I love cooking very much, and also I love trying many different recipes and to change the recipes. So as I go, I mean, one of the way that I cook is I watch or maybe taste the food, and I try to recreate it without looking up any ingredients at all. And at times I can make almost an exact copy, but some of the ingredients are missing and some are like completely different, but it still works. The movie got me into cooking more creatively. That is a good movie. I have been in this summer in Portugal doing a vacation and stuff, and I have bought simply 10 kilos of cod fish, some of filet meat, around 30 liters of wine, and a bit of other essential things. I know the feeling. The last time I was in England, it was, maybe 6 years ago, or 7 maybe. I've carried back home like maybe about 5 to 10 kilos of cheese. It was like local cheese, the cheddar, which is amazing in England. It's so good. If you want cheddar, you have to buy the English cheddar, and you have to find. Well, you have to have choices, and of course, it doesn't need any additives, any coloring. That's the best one. It tastes so good, so creamy and soft, and it's like almost butter-like texture. It's really good. So I took like at least 1.5 kilos of that, and also parmesan and brie and all the other cheeses that were there. And in Russia, since it's what's it called, all this stuff already happening, and the cheese wasn't getting to Russia. It's not like we had much of a choice before that. Not many people in Russia understand cheese culture, and but still, it was so worth it. I was like in cheese heaven for the next half year. Eating almost everything with cheese. I also, I think, sold a bit of it, but still. Because it might have gone bad. So basically, yeah, I'm really prepared for the winter. Definitely. I'm also thinking of going vegetarian. It'll be hard as I love chicken and pork. Well, I'm pretty sure there are like alternatives for this whole thing with alternative meats and stuff. But yeah, but once you start removing stuff from your food, from your menu, other stuff will become your favorites. It's like, it's very normal. Vegan is impossible, like cheese. At times I can't live without cheese. Okay, all this talk about food is I'm getting I'm starting to want to eat. I'm also will be ending the stream very soon. So once again, a quick reminder that I've put up a couple of photos on Buy Me a Coffee page, so check them out. They're free to my members, and they look pretty cool. Yep. Intolerant. Do you have Asians in your family? There is a very big percentage of people getting that from... In Asia, it's almost half of the population doesn't get along with milk, lactose in particular. That's what I hear, anyway. Jan, yes, thank you for coming back again. You have a great day also. thank you, Zoe. All this stuff helps a lot. Even the small pieces, they all add up in big way. That's for sure. And I will be making a bit more videos in the future. And talking about all this, the cooking and stuff. I'm not sure how subscribers will be interested in that or not, but we'll see. I'm Asia European myself. I'm a Hungarian Ugric group from the Uralic Mountains, actual Russian territory. Ugric. Do I know this? I'm not sure. So you have Asians in your family, but you mostly live in Europe for the late. Your family lives. That might be the reason. It's probably just genetics or stuff. I'm not sure whether it's just genetic or maybe it's just the bacteria. I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting. In Asia, in China, in Japan, they especially in Japan and stuff, they don't use milk almost at all. Hansi and Mansi ethnics. I was, by the way, close to this area where these people live, I'm pretty sure. But it's not in exact spot. I was in what's it called? Mariel, it's called Republic Mariel, and it's an area which is very distant from any big cities. It's mostly huge trees and stuff. I think it's as close as I have gotten to a place like this. It was a long time ago. It was 12 or... No, I think I was 10. If I'm correct, I may be mistaken. It was a crazy experience. Maybe I'll tell it the next time, the next stream. Yep. Then it exists the Finna group, which is the Finnish, Estonia, and some other ethnics. Okay. Finnish. Haven't been there. It's really cold. But they build amazing homes. Almost every single home that they have built in Russia is standing tall and beautiful still, and they are considered very best in building this whole process of building houses for Russia, because they are made for cold. And this building I'm currently in, it's a beautiful house, for the time, the money I'm paying currently in the current market, it's a beautiful house. I can't say much about it, but every single connection is leaking cold air from the outside. The bill for the heating, which is electrical, is so huge now. I'm not even sure these people are zeroing on the the price with the whole situation. It's horrible. Every single, like the door, everything is sinking in. The window, every single window, even walls at places. Oh my God, it's killing me. If it was this way in Russia, it would have been. There are houses like this when people get ripped off with the whole building process. But during the winter time, you would literally die, freeze and die during the sleep. I hate cold. Yes, it's so not cold here in comparison. It's like minus 20 in Moscow right now. It's plus 10 here. That's why I do love spring, summer mostly, and then autumn. I enjoy the beach and all the stuff, and the sun burns. The problem, the rest is just history. Yep. Unfortunately, it's it's not unfortunate. It's still fine that it's winter time right now. But it's unfortunate for many people, the current situation with the energy and stuff. And of course you can almost not disrespectfully, but the truth is that the whole European Union has been on the what's it called? On the pin with the not. I'm trying to remember the correct words to express myself right now. Well, the whole time the European Union has been existing on this on the Russian gas. They have been shooting themselves in the leg. Of course, on one hand, it has been improving the quality of life of the Europeans, but all this time, because it's cheap energy. But on the other hand, the Europeans were giving up their freedom in a way and authority that this is one of the reasons they have ended up in this situation. That is very unfortunately true, as I see it. I'm not sure how much it costs here. 35 cents to 40 cents. But it's very sad to see this happen. But it could have been much worse. And this is a wake-up call, as well as this whole COVID situation is a wake-up call. If it would have been something else, things would have gotten even worse. So in a way, we're all kind of lucky, I guess. Anyway, I will be ending the stream here. Thank you everybody for watching, for chatting. Check out my page, the Buy Me a Coffee page with the free downloads for the members. For you guys, thank you everybody. I've enjoyed this stream and have a great day. Bye bye.